Hello.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah.
How you going?
Yeah. All right. You?
Unconvincing. I'm okay. Cold.
I was just trying to think. How am I? Fine, I think. Nothing too concerning. You're cold.
Yes.
Do you have to like preheat that thing like middle of the night now to get up and do this?
No, there's no heating still. Just my little desk mat. Just little old me sitting in the cold.
That you sit on?
Yeah. Yeah.
The sacrifice Jem's making for you all.
What's that thing behind you?
How's it going?
Black blob.
This is a little photo studio thing.
Ah, the photo box. Cool.
Little white box. It's got LEDs inside. I use it for tooling photography mostly. Just a little product photography booth. It's nice to just have it completely set up, and I just have to put my camera in front of it.
It's cool. How's the tooling game?
It's been a little bit slower. I need to make some more videos. The videos seem to be a good driver.
Yeah. Yeah, the videos were successful in terms of driving traffic to Tooling Town.
I've been waiting on a couple new. Well, our manufacturers had problems with heat, and then supplies. I guess the blanks were delayed, I guess. And the heat was causing problems. Too much of that.
Yeah.
So things have been a little delayed. And then we have aluminum tooling for like CNC routing, aluminum on the way. And I'm working on some solid wood tooling. Just taking a bit.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So you'll have new stuff, new content to make around those new tools. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been like kind of like letting myself off the hook of I should be making a video about other things probably every week. And I'm like, oh, those are my next videos. And I'm just like waiting for the stuff to get here instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't found any motivation to make videos lately. Time or motivation. I'm a bit finding myself. I don't know. I'm sure if I had full clear days in the workshop, I would perhaps find that spark. But at the moment, I'm quite uninspired about making content. I've been doing really the bare minimum on Instagram. I'm getting quite sort of fed up of being there and how much of a time suck and what it does to my brain.
Right. I've been getting more engagement.
Yeah.
I've had a couple videos do pretty well lately.
Oh, good.
Quite a few, actually, which has been weird. You know what's also great is all of the videos that aren't related to products do really well. Like, I made this video about a freaking tape machine. And it's got 100,000 views on TikTok, which has always been like the thing. It's like I make videos about Macs every once in a while. It's just like a side interest of mine and do really well.
That I can understand.
So,
the tape machine. Bless so. What is that tape machine?
Integral to.
What do you use it for?
Well, this was a complete whim. I was kind of like I've always been like it probably comes from my mom. Just like to find things for a deal, and then I guess the part that I like to do is like either fix them up a little bit or just resell them for a little bit more money.
Sure.
So these tape machines are $1,300 new, I believe, and they're always just been kind of like a lusty thing of like, oh, those look fun. You know, you push a button, tape shoots out a certain length, and so I found one just randomly, like eBay just like algorithmically showed me one that was like real cheap, and I made an offer even cheaper, and they just were like, yeah, sure. And so they sent it to me, and the video that's done well is I'm basically just like, you know, the guy that sent it to me, whoever the company, they packed it like an idiot, and it like bent up the front part of it, that's sheet metal, and so I'm going through in the video fixing it, trying to fix it, and basically, I'll probably spend $250, $260 on it, and haven't decided if we're going to keep it, but it's just nice little bit of gear, basically.
But what's it for? What sort of tape does it shoot out? I've never seen such a thing.
Like our branded tape or like any water activated tape?
Paper tape.
It's got a little brush.
Okay.
Yeah. For like shipping packages.
Is that normal over there?
So you can push a button.
Paper tape.
I think most companies get into something like that. I like it. It's recyclable.
Yeah, totally.
You can leave it on the boxes. Obviously, I like, instead of buying branded or custom packaging, like boxes that we ship, because almost all of our products are shipped in like a craft cardboard box. So then the branding piece that you hopefully get excited about when you see sitting on your doorstep is we've got this blue PDX CNC tape, and every once in a while I'll throw some little piece of, I'll try and do an Amazon thing, and I try to make some little advertisement of a new product or something on it to get your attention, and just branding, functional branding.
Yeah, totally. We tried that water activated paper tape once because for the same reason we wanted to switch to like a tape that could just be recycled with the cardboard. We couldn't get it to set, like it was too slippery. Like we'd put it.
You need a $1,300 tape machine.
Maybe we'd put it on a cart and it'd just kind of go. It'd kind of just and ooze off and not hold any tension. Like, can you strap a box?
Oh no, yeah, it does.
Strap a box nicely.
Oh
with
my
it?
God, yeah.
Really?
I haven't tried this. Like this one has a heating element to it. There's the thing that was bent up, but our original one is just a manual tape machine where you crank it down. It sounds like an old cash register. And you set a length that it comes out. So it's just slightly slower. And the heat's supposed to help activate the glue, I guess. Okay. And then, I mean, if it's too wet, it'll take a while to dry. But these machines are expensive, I suppose, but not so expensive for a business. And then they kind of put the perfect amount of water on, and you might have to rub it a couple times, but like the idea is it sticks pretty effectively. And then they have fiberglass woven inside, so it makes it harder to like tear apart, which maybe isn't as great for its recyclability.
Yeah, cool.
There's probably fiberglass in the boxes anyway.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I need to look at that again, because it seemed very appealing at the time. But
the cheaper one, I think we spent just under $300 on, which is funny. It was new, and you manually crank out tape. But I think I would say it's also significantly better as a packing efficiency than whatever the plastic tape roll strappy thing is. I guess if you're doing like giant boxes, it might be a little tricky to put out the right amount of tape, but it's satisfying.
Okay, I'm putting that back on my research list.
I'm still on the hunt for a replacement company, since the last one is it's not our vendors anymore.
Gone off the rails.
Anyway, that's
cool.
That's
Thanks
the section on packing tape that we normally do.
Yeah, that's the packaging segment.
I spent a lot of my time watching the Olympics.
Have you?
I was curious if you all gotten into that. I have seen a decent amount of success from the Aussies at the Olympics.
Aussies. Say after me, Aussie.
Aussies.
Not much at all. I'm not a big sport ball person, but we have recently made ourselves a table tennis table at work again. It's been about 6 years since Butter had a table tennis table. And the lust has been reactivated, which has made me go looking at the Olympic live stream going, table tennis, eh? And I have watched a little bit of the table tennis and then tangented to the skateboarding, because, skateboarding is the closest thing to parkour in the Olympics. No, that's not true. Gymnastics. I've watched a little bit of gymnastics as well, but very little.
What about... Right.
Are you?
Is that loud?
Sounds like, no, I can't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing, mate.
Okay. The air gun. It's kind of loud. Yeah, I've watched quite a bit. I did watch some. There's a pretty... Did you see the championship game? And I have no contextuality for table tennis, other than I played it in like my grandpa's basement, and it was like very low stakes. But man, the top level, like a Chinese gentleman versus a Netherlands, maybe? I don't know where he was from. Sweden?
The Swedish guy, yeah.
But that was a crazy game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like number 1 versus 20th or something, 19th, and big upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you watch sports usually? You settle down with a Bud Light and watch sports?
Bud Light? No. I used to watch soccer quite a bit. And I don't know what it is. Just the older I get, the less I just can't get. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Like it used to be. Like I grew up in a state in Nebraska where football was like a religion, basically. Nebraska Husker college football. People don't have weddings on those days in Nebraska. Like if you want to get married and you don't care about football, which is very rare, you can have a Saturday in the fall. They're open because nobody will have their weddings on them. So, you know, that was interesting to me for the longest time. Then we moved out of the state to Seattle, and I was really into soccer for a while. And now it's just like the older I get, I'm like, this doesn't mean anything. Like I can't get excited, or like there's no drama to it anymore to me. And it's kind of sad. I feel like I'm just an old man that like, I don't know, I'm depressed. But every once in a while, I find the Olympics really interesting for the sake of there's a lot of novelty for what I'm exposed to normally.
Totally.
Just weird, not weird, but just things I'm not used to at all. And I love to see it. There was a really awesome, probably the greatest sporting feat I've seen in a long time was the woman that won the road cycling for the US. She came back and just like blasted by these like expected winners, won by a minute in 100-mile race. Crazy. That was so cool. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why I put it on here, because the women's sevens rugby, the US team upset the Australians.
Oh.
I just had to.
Come on. Now I'm invested. Now I care.
No, it's like I don't even really understand it fully. Ricky watches quite a bit of rugby.
Yeah, right. Fine. Okay.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
No, I've been actively trying to reduce my screen time lately, because I was just getting fed up with social media, but also, that young child mode where you've got kind of a lot of time late at night, but you're not necessarily in a state where you can do it in weird times, but you're not necessarily in a functional, useful mode where you can do useful things.
I'm still like that.
Still like that. I was just finding I was blowing so much time on like Reels or YouTube Shorts or that sort of content, and getting quite frustrated with myself. I succumbed to the ads for Opal, that app blocking app called Opal, which you might have been served ads for. And,
now they know I'm all in.
Yeah.
They can't stop me.
Unstoppable. So I've been like, trying to use that and get my certain times a day, block myself out of all social apps, which doesn't keep me off my phone necessarily, but I find myself doing different things on my phone. Like last night during my couch app blocked time, this was like a week ago. I just went to the Like Butter website, and I did like a screenshot review of all the little bugs and annoying things, not all of them, but a lot of them that I wanted to change. And I screened, like so I was sitting there, probably had a baby in my arm, and I was just like screenshotting, I need to change that copy, and I want to put that link there and update that, and just ended up with like 50 screenshots in my phone with like really illegible scrawled notes on top of them. And so last night I had a laptop very awkwardly perched over a sleeping baby, and went through and made a lot of those optimizations to the website, which is stuff that I've been putting off for ages. That's super minor stuff, like a word here, a word there. But, you know, Shopify is slow, certain things you can't bulk edit. You got to go through each variant and like update the code or update the copy. So I did that. That was satisfying. And there's been a few moments like that where it's like,
interesting.
Yeah, this time is different. I'm still on my phone, but I feel like I'm doing something more productive. So yeah, I have been having little fantasies of dumb phones, but I've had them in the past and I've never managed to break away from the power of the iPhone. But yeah,
I wonder if that's just like our generation. Like we're one of the last that between that and like my Catholic upbringing, like some kind of like shame of I shouldn't be doing this, but like I don't think Gen Alpha is like, oh, I shouldn't be on my phone. You know, like this is a necessary utility in my life.
Yeah, I wonder. Because we can remember the before times.
Right. Yeah, right. Before phones. Or whatever this computer device is. Yeah, I haven't done... I mean, I just think about... Even before having a kid, but like... I used to just be able to like... Sounds old. Just stay up from 9 to midnight and just be quote-unquote productive on like a project I wanted to be working on. Now I'm like... I just have like no drive, and like I feel tired enough that I'm like, oh, I'm probably about to go to bed, but then I still will be up till 12, but I'm just like scrolling TikTok or watching YouTube on my TV. You're like, yeah. And there's still some like, I don't feel like I need to be productive, but it's also like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing with my time? You know, like, why am I? My wife just goes to bed at like 9. She's like, I'm tired. And I'm like, yeah, that's what people do.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, we're in that mode at the moment of like between like 8 and 11 is the only adult window of the day. So it's like Laura and I both like procrastinate pretty hard. Like, regardless of what we're doing, and going to bed too late. And then the baby wakes us up an hour later and I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's go.
You get into that habit though, or like that process where you're just kind of like initially drained by it, but then you're just like, this is life.
I know.
And you're just kind of used to like being completely messed up.
Yeah, I'm there now. It's all settled. Yeah, Bub's 2 months old. And it all feels, she's not sleeping any better than she was, but it all feels pretty normal and like just in that rhythm now.
You've got multiple precedents. For us, it was just like, we've read about this.
We've read about it.
We've been told about what my brother would always say, because he has 3 kids, he would say like, the night is long and full of terrors, or whatever the Game of Thrones saying was about his kids being up at night.
Yes, so true.
I was going to say, back to your, what do you call them, CRO? The updates?
Conversion rate optimizations. Yeah.
Your crows.
Crow.
You have friends that are crows. If you go to Shopify online store themes, you can see those like metrics and they track them for you. And I believe when you click on them, you probably know this, like upgrade, like things you should look at. But then there's also like some report. In the reports, you can find what those metrics are over time. So they'll actually like log them and might actually show if you've made some of those changes.
Do you mean like
just know the date,
load speed, interactivity, that stuff, sessions? Yeah, okay.
Right.
No, I don't really look at that.
I don't. Yeah, for a while, it was not great, and so I was like trying to figure out why. And it's been kind of stable, and I've just not paid attention to it. But since you're messing with it,
yeah, I should look at that.
Might be useful.
Yeah, this is it's pretty untechnical conversion rate optimization. It's all just like going through,
that's fast.
looking at just, kind of reading things with fresh eyes and going, that could be better. That could read better, or that could link to that to give a little bit more context, or, things like that. Trying to instill confidence in our audience, give them more information to make good decisions.
I was thinking about, I think you probably have the same thing, where I was just over the weekend thinking about like, why are we not selling as many of the tool holders as, I think we should be able to. And I was like, I should probably add some photos. Like I have like renderings. Really have any? I was like, I should just need to like put some on a bench and take a photo of them like they're being used, instead of like, I just get lazy and I end up just using renderings for too many things instead of just showing them in more realistic use case.
Yeah, you are quite heavy-handed on the old render, aren't you, generally?
Yeah, it's just what it's like, do what you know, I guess.
Yeah,
that's just how I went through school. Was everything was a rendering, because I didn't have the money to make anything. But the renderings were relatively free.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to work for you too, though, right? There's a nice consistency about them.
Yeah, I never get comments on it early.
I mean,
I know that I definitely could do better by making photos and a more strong factor of the product.
Yeah, like so many of our products on our website are still rendered too, because when we did the full Shopify build, just for that consistency of format and size, and we had all the variant switching, we're like, rendering's the way to go. We're not going to shoot.
It's so nice, yeah.
Just going to change the material in Fusion and render it again, like so much.
There's one thing I had asked about that I would love to see happen in Fusion is to be able to some kind of macro or like blend between configurations and then be able to render out each like stylistic difference.
That'd be cool.
Like render my configurations in this view.
That'd be rad. That photo of your kid in a baby pants t-shirt is adorable. So good.
I can share that probably. I made a onesie little like thing for him when we were pregnant, because I was ordering other like accessory things, and like those websites are just like, hey, do you want that on a coaster? Do you want it on a t-shirt? How about a mouse pad?
How about a onesie?
And then I saw the onesie and I was like, gotta get that.
Sold. Yeah, it's super cute.
And just sat in one of his drawers for the longest time, and then Aaron had it out in the bed and I was like, oh, yep, that's gotta go on.
So good. How often, on the conversion rate thing, how often are you just in Shopify noodling around? I have my impression of you is that you're doing this daily. But that could be
trying to optimize things?
Making product updates, product information, noodling around in Shopify, making improvements.
A couple times a week, I'd say. Depending on like how fresh a product is from being launched. I feel like I'll end up like doing like a 60 or 8 to 70% like launch, and then I'm like, oh no, I need to get up a diagram of this, or like we need more details or link to those FAQs. And so I kind of get complacent. Like that's why I was like, oh man, I need to add some photos to that product. I get this like, what's easy to do up front, right, is the renderings for me. So I get all those up there. I did some animations, a full video, and then I'm like in the back of my head or in maybe like some app somewhere, I'm like, oh, I need to take photos of those, in these contexts, and I just never go back to do it. So
does that go on a list somewhere?
It's supposed to. I think we use that Linear app for new products, and I'll go in this cycle of like every day using it and then forgetting about it for 3 weeks. And Classic,
yeah. Okay, cool.
How is your work scenario? Are you still just kind of surviving home life?
Yeah, really
mostly?
just putting out fires. I feel like over the weekend we've got kid birthdays happening at the moment, and it's like that's made weekends busy. And over the weekend I glanced at peeked at the bank balance. I was like, oh yeah, we made target for the week. I was like, hang on, stop.
Oh.
No, we didn't. That's 2 weeks worth of revenue you're looking at there, Jimmy, because you failed to distribute this week. So yeah, we're a little bit behind, and really that just comes down to me not getting enough quotes out the door. And it's at a point now where it's kind of getting embarrassing because I've got an inbox full of leads. Some of them are getting quite old. Some of them are over a month old now, and I haven't even done first contact on a bunch of them. And so I'm trying to play catch up. And yeah, just that awkward spot of like,
I've been there.
do I even bother, or what's my message when I do touch base with you? Of like, I don't want it. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. You know what worked shockingly well for me was, and this is my only ever time getting to use this. I had that same scenario of like, oh, I'm behind on a million things, and I thought it was going to be 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So I was going to have all these things ready for baby time. So I just was like, maybe it was just being exhausted, but I just was like really frank with everybody I followed up with, and I was like, sorry, I just had a baby.
You pulled the baby card.
Happy to help you when I can. It's going to be a little slow. Every person was super nice and like understanding and like let me continue to like blow off their timelines for weeks because I was just like incapable of doing normal things. So yeah, have a baby. Like it's the best way to get behind and it'd be okay.
I have been using the baby card, but at a certain point, to me, it starts feeling like I'm taking the piss.
Like your aunt died?
Yeah. Which, I don't know, but it's still very much the case.
Yeah.
Like that's why
I don't like that either.
That's why I'm in this spot. So, I can use that card, and I do with some people, but yeah, it feels for like a first contact, completely unknown client lead, it just doesn't feel appropriate or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. No, I know what you mean. I feel like, let's see if I can combine my thoughts about the pumpkin plan. Like, I think the best case would probably be if in this time, if you can send people away to somewhere else that you're not going to get to earlier, it's going to relieve your strain, and they're also going to go, oh, thanks, man, that's so helpful that you sent me to somebody that can help. So you can kind of like just find the bottom list of things that you're not going to be able to handle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That'll feel nice.
Yep.
I'm terrible at that though.
I know. I'm terrible
Everyone, I'm like, oh, we can do that. And then I wait 2 weeks and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that.
That's exactly what I do. Hold off on making a decision until it's awkwardly too late and useless for everybody. I still haven't
just looked at your job and I don't like it.
I haven't caught up on the pumpkin plan yet. I would like to get into that. I have bought some ceramic beads though. Could do some beading,
Do tell.
This is one of those things which I did a shit job of researching. For years now, I've wondered, can you do abrasive tumbling of timber parts? And because my experience of tumbling is just chucking some gravel in a cement mixer and putting some water in there and tumbling, doing agricultural stonewashed aluminium brackets. I was like, no, we can't tumble timber. It's too wet, or it's too sandy, or it's too blah. And with doing zero research, and then something, can't remember what got me over the line, but like we've got our new hot wax dipping tank set up at work now for sealing all the dowel and end caps and feet and stuff for kit parts. And it's like, right, what's the next, what's the next kind of hurdle with this product line in terms of reducing production times? It's like, cool, it's hand sanding all the feet and caps. How do we get rid of that? And I did literally like 5 minutes research, and I was like, oh, you can. There's examples of people tumbling small timber parts. Cool. All right. Let's order some ceramic tumbling media and give this a go. So I got some zirconia tumbling spheres on the way. It was unclear as to what sort of media to start with, but I'm just going to grab something and give it a crack.
I'm trying to think if we've done it. We have a tumbler.
Do you?
I've tumbled aluminum. I think just aluminum. But, I mean, 4 years ago, we talked about, it was kind of always in the back of our minds. One of our employees had kind of a fascination with it and got me interested, and then found this example of using like a big box store 5-gallon bucket, which I was just converting. Do you use 20-liter buckets? What are your bucket sizes?
20 probably. Yep.
20. We use a 5-gallon, and you just like turn it on its side and roll it like up mostly on its side, and it just slowly spins, and you could put like walnut shells, which is I find humorous. Like I really want to tumble some walnut with walnut shells. Really perverse. But we have little like ceramic bits that we've tumbled aluminum with before.
Yeah.
And I never really need it, but it's always kind of there as a really cheap setup. So
yeah, cool.
I've always wanted to have that opportunity. So how do you not destroy your threads?
Don't know. I think I've chosen media that's...
Just try it, yeah.
I've chosen spherical media that's bigger than the pitch of the screw. Thinking I don't want to get them stuck in there. And yeah, I just have to experiment, I think.
I think the shape might make have an effect too over time. It's also a time thing. It's like you can get them enough and then...
That's it.
No more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And even if we have to screw a cap and a foot together to like protect the threads before they go in the tumbler.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
That's fine too.
Right.
Like that's not unfeasible to just
beep,
beep, beep, beep, chuck them in. So yeah. Yeah. I guess that would mean you could leave them in the tumbler a lot longer, get better finish on the cap and foot. Yeah. But the wax zip is looking cool. We just folded our own aluminium tank, pop riveted it together with some high temp silicon in the seals, and it's looking good.
Very cool. We need some videos about this.
Yeah, I need to make
some
vids.
process.
Yeah.
Just low effort.
Yep.
Videos.
Okay.
What was I going to ask you about?
Leads in quotient, I think.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. How are you getting your leads into quotient? Some kind of Zapier? Zap?
Zap. Yep. Fill out.
That's interesting.
Fill out to quotient, so they come in as a lead. The lead functionality in quotient's kind of weird. Like it's kind of hard to make your own manually. Like at the moment, I made another Zap so that I can input a new lead manually through Slack. But yeah, they're just going in there. I quite like the lead function of quotient, although my systems are just in a state of chaos at the moment. Like this information is also being pushed to Notion. I've got a leads table in Notion, which is where I was reasonably consistently managing this stuff. And just, in this chaotic baby time, I haven't been doing like my weeding, my gardening in Notion and keeping that all up to date.
Right.
And I've got bits of information that I've copied willy-nilly into Quotient or into Notion or just a draft in Gmail, and it's all just a mess. I need to sort it out. But yeah.
Makes me think about I've had this bit of jealousy / curiosity of Chris on with Intolerance talking about his admin hire. Have you listened to any of the recent episodes?
Yep.
He's talking about it recently, about how like much of a game changer it's been for him, which I think he's mostly doing. He's doing, wearing all the hats and doing the work, quoting, administration, which is like invoicing and researching like things, and it still seems so alluring to get back to that. I think that's still my next hire when we get to that point.
Yeah.
That sounds really appealing. It was so nice to just like have somebody else do most of the emailing.
Yeah.
For the month I had that. Oh my God, it's so nice.
Yeah, good. I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think my version of that at the moment, like admin-wise, where I'm falling down the most is probably just reconciling, keeping Xero up to date. I've been chatting to Laura about her helping with that potentially. But yeah, I'm enjoying Email Town for now. Kind of like it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good. I just do that thing where I'm like, work, and I'm going to go run around, do these other things in the shop, and then I'm like kind of procrastinating / knowing I have this dumpster fire of a lot of email problems to solve, and I'm, okay, I'll do it now.
Yeah. Thanks to dear listeners. Thanks to those of you who've reached out over the last week. There's been a few people who've said, hello, I live in so-and-so, and I would be interested in licensing kiddo parts manufacturing. So yeah, had a few interesting conversations.
Cool.
Last week or so, which is cool. I think, yeah, pretty much everyone who's reached out in that capacity has come via parts department. So that's kind of cool.
Hey.
Yo.
Look at this. It's for something. Other than our own therapy.
Our own sanity. Yeah, it's been nice. It's just nice to talk shop with people too. It's like,
right.
Such vastly different scales. Like some people with really established businesses and other people are just, one-man shop, limited resources. Right. And yeah,
it is
cool.
Pretty amazing the people around the world that we get, connected through this. So it's very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So is there, you sent me a giant ER printed prototype holder situation. Is there any shareable progress on the machine?
No, not really. So Ro, I'll name you Ro, is helping on the PS2. And Ro's someone who's been doing some just sort of experience internship thing at Butter. I think I've mentioned them in a previous episode. But yeah, that collet that I sent you the photo of was Rose doing. She made this awesome ER70 collet. Just came in one day and it's like, oh yeah, look. And so we'd been chatting about the work holding on the PS2 and how to lighten it basically, because I'd prefer not to put another big heavy lathe chuck in there and put, I'd like to avoid any pneumatics in this machine. So like a lever actuated chuck mechanism. But then, Rose's idea was to sort of like really shrink that down and use an ER. So kind of inspired by like a 5C collet work holding method, but just like scaled right up. So yeah, super cool. Very impressive.
The concept of the whole machine is like, it feels like it's moving more towards like you said desktop machine earlier, but it's not like, it's less automated than what you have now, potentially.
Yeah, no bar feed. So you would have to pre-cut stock, to length, cut 100 pieces, rack them up, lock, cycle, unlock, lock. So yeah, manually fed.
Optional robot.
Yeah, manually fed. Like potentially, I think the cycle times on it are going to be a lot faster than our pencil sharpener, I think, just because it is a manually operated concept. The travels are going to be tighter. Yeah, I think it's going to be quick, but more hands-on in terms of operator time. And that's just to try and simplify it, make something a small envelope but simple that, can get you what you need in terms of producing those parts.
Right. Gotta be so. I immediately went from Yeah, you're probably trying, make a simpler, smaller machine that's less costly. My mind immediately went from, once shit really starts getting going, you have a little add-on robot you can sell them, and then it does that work. It's putting the dowels in, it's clamping the lever.
It'd be a perfect job for a UR robot, yeah.
Right.
Like those guys with the lathe and like the UR feeding into that beautiful little matrix of stockholders. Yeah. Be awesome.
I wanted to have fancy mode when it's just doing its little Donatello.
Nunchucks.
Like a little more showy. Gives you a little sword fight.
I would love a UR robot just to do shit like that. Be so good.
Right. Yes.
I was trolling secondhand machinery websites not that long ago looking at cobots and robot arms, actually. Like, I wonder what it would take. Because we'd got this quote inquiry for like 100 kit parts for like an apartment building. I was like, wow, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of sanding. And I was chatting to Ben about the edge sanding and like how we got to sand all the bevels and corners by hand and how it's like quite labor intensive. I was like, let's just put a sander on a robot arm. Perfect.
I always wonder about the accuracy. I mean, I know they're fairly accurate, but I just wonder like how rigid and accurate that gets, because I know like even like a giant 6-axis like FANUC, you get problems that you have to compensate for. So
we can pick them up pretty cheap. Those 6-axis.
Which ones?
The FANUC, the big ones.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I know.
Much cheaper than
I have
cobots.
multiple friends that send me them all the time. They're like, hey, here's a whole warehouse. Let's buy some. And I'm like, yes, but like I have to block off one whole end of my shop to use it.
Yeah. Let's buy some.
If only. I've been, similarly daydreaming, which I think I brought up here a while back, but like daydreaming of like what would be the next router, like, and I think the dream is some kind of 5-axis style, and they're just like so much bigger.
Yeah.
And I start to think like, well, then do we sell the Shop Saber? It's paid off. Like we know it runs amazing. Like we sell products for it. Like I kind of still need it. I'm like, how do I fit both? And then get in this crazy space of like, can I fit two? Then we can't fit any material anywhere. Then where does that go? Kind of leads me, I suppose, to I'd kind of written off potentially going to IMTS in Chicago.
Ooh.
Just thought it was going to be, I'd always heard it was pretty expensive.
You get a booth. So what you mean?
Oh, God, no.
No,
that would be amazing. Maybe someday, but it'd probably be more of the woodworking shows.
Yeah, sure.
Not the IMTS. As far as I understand, is mostly not woodworking things, which is most of our customers at this point. I meant more for my sake of going to enjoy / research at the show. Network. And so I just was looking into it last week, and I think, assuming things don't go crazy, I think I'm going to go.
Great.
For a couple days, which will be fun. I'm excited about. Really want to look into, which I don't know if is a thing. I could probably be doing internet research, but I guess it's like part of the excuse to go is like, I want to find newer, different technologies of 3D printers, potentially.
Cool.
For some upcoming new products that I don't feel like FDM, sorry, not FDM, like FFF or what is that? What's the other word for it?
Don't know.
Extruder type we have is quite the right fit for it, for what I'm thinking of. So, and I know there's a couple others, but I think part of it is I just need to see. I haven't seen a lot of higher end or non-hobby like printers in person and what they can do. So
yeah, cool.
I think it's going to be a valuable reason to go.
Do some research. Yeah.
See some routers, talk to people.
I'm sure there's amazing stuff happening in printer world, but I'm like a little bit gun shy. Like having been to those shows, like the Australian equivalent of IMTS, like, 3 years ago or something, Sydney, looking at all the cool printing stuff, like looking at Markforged, thinking, oh my God, Markforged is amazing. Like, look at what they can do. And then, 2 years later, Bamboo basically does it for $1,000 printer. So from $100,000 unit to $1,000 unit, it's like, it's, obviously it doesn't quite have whatever the tolerance, reliability that Markforged has, but it's functionally it's doing a very similar thing. So I just feel like that whole world moves so fast that investing in industrial level 3D printing scares the shit out of me.
I guess I'm kind of, I know I can't do that. Like, I think the ideal would maybe be something like an MJF, that multi-jet kind of stuff. But those are like, as far as I understand, like $250,000, and like that's not going to happen. And I don't want to spend. I think that's crazy, really, honestly. Like, I can't. We make okay money on our products, but like that kind of investment feels really irresponsible, and I don't know that I can even do it. So it's like, what's the $10,000 printer? That's like, I don't need carbon fiber, but the same thought is like, I keep thinking, they've gone from putting out basically like the top of the line version of their printers, Bamboo, to like now they're going all the way down to like the lowest of the hobby end. What's the next big thing they're going to do? It seems pretty obvious that they're going to have another huge jump, unless they've just gone through all their ideas. But I don't think there is. I was thinking about today, like you saw that video I made over the weekend. I was printing stuff, and I've kind of done this.
Oh yeah, that was
every
awesome.
Once in a while,
you popped them out.
I just drive the head into the part until it drops out the front of the machine.
I love that.
And the key is that you have to usually have the door open.
I want to see more.
Otherwise, you just trap stuff inside.
So cool.
It's very simple. It's nice to have another camera to see like what's happening. So our little in-house cameras, I can see, and I make sure it falls out. And I was like, I got to go back and play it because I can't tell. Did it fall out? And I had this pretty funny video of it going conk. Like it was pretty stuck to the bed, and it flung off and popped into the glass pretty loud. So, but I was just thinking about, like, I don't know if the technology is whatever that technology was. When you go bowling, like on a bowling alley lane, I was thinking the perfect thing would be that little sweeper arm that comes down to clean the pins off. I want that for my bed, right? Like, just a very basic drop down, move the head to one side. I was trying to think of like, how could I do that? I don't know how to put in like a little pneumatic sweeper function, but like that'd be pretty nice.
That'd be rad. Yeah. The Bamboo Row, who I mentioned before, brought in a Bamboo A1 Mini. Tiny little thing. It's a pretty impressive machine. Yeah. It's cool.
Right.
It's got some new features that our carbon X1Cs don't have. Yeah, super impressive little piece of kit.
Oh, the head changing stuff is nice.
Yeah, head changing stuff, little filament cutter in the head, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes noise. It sings songs. Like, it's got like harmonic. It makes tunes with its G code.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty nifty.
Yeah. You would think like the things that seem like really easy, low-hanging fruit to me are doing, like, they've done multiple filament color changing, but like something that Prusa did their version of that with multiple heads that you change out, and I feel like Bamboo could absolutely dominate that world too if they just wanted to. Making color changing actually efficient rather than dumping out usually like double the amount of filament you need to actually print the thing in waste. Would be nice. But I don't know, I just FFF has been nice, but it's like I just feel like I need something, whatever the next thing potentially is, quality wise.
Sure. Cool.
And maybe we'll see. I have a list going of things I want to look into.
Sweet. Have you read? I wish I could join you.
You can. Oh, wait, you have a baby. Yeah, I'm barely getting away with the 2 days of travel there right now in the States. I can't even imagine. Oh, honey,
I'll just go to the
leave
US.
you, the 2 kids, and the newborn
Bye.
to the US for a week. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
That would not work for me.
Well, cool bananas. I figured take the kid to school again. It's that time.
Right. School. Yeah, all our kids are out of school right now.
Ah, nice.
Summertime.
Summer. This summer.
This summer, the boys get rockin' hard bods and go surfing at the beach.
Uh-huh.
I'm hungry.
Soy latte, me too. No.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
That's real. That was real too.
That was me too, yes.